The Belén neighborhood, located in Bogotá's historic center, is one of the oldest neighborhoods in the city. However, its cultural identity is being lost. Over time, many of the practices, knowledge and community ties that shaped neighborhood life have begun to disappear. The stories of longtime residents, once the heart of the neighborhood, are now at risk of being forgotten. Without records or channels for sharing and appreciation, this loss of memory not only affects the neighborhood's history but also its sense of community. This is where our role as digital and multimedia designers comes in. We asked ourselves, how can we intervene to preserve this living memory using our visual and technological tools? The disciplinary problem lies in the lack of effective communication of the neighborhood's heritage value, nor are there accessible products that tell its story in a relatable and emotional way. As designers, we have the opportunity to mediate between tradition and technology, creating visual and narrative languages that allow these memories not only to be recorded, but also to connect with new generations. The main objective of the project was to preserve the intangible cultural heritage of the Belén neighborhood by creating a digital product that captures the memory of its traditional inhabitants and, through this, promotes a sense of belonging in new generations. To achieve this goal, we made a documentary. This collects the testimonies of 3 key figures from the neighborhood. We recorded interviews with them, activities in the sports center, took old photos, toured heritage houses, and captured everyday moments that continue to build memory. Most importantly, it was a collaborative process. We worked with the residents themselves to decide how they wanted to be represented and which spaces were significant. The result is not just an audio-visual product, but a symbolic to love resistance against oblivion. The development of the product took place in 3 phases. In pre-production, we conducted qualitative interviews, explored the territory, and analyzed the neighborhood's key players. There, we defined the documentary's narrative structure and created a storyboard and a visual mood board. During the production, we recorded interviews with the protagonists, recorded activities at the sports center, took old photographs, toured heritage houses, and visited symbolic spaces like the pottery factory. All of this was achieved with a participatory approach, in which the residents themselves decided how they wanted to be represented. In post-production, we edited the documentary, taking care of the narrative rhythm, sound, natural light contrasts, and emotional moments. We conducted tests with real users, applied an empathy map, and adjusted the product to be accessible to both older adults and young audiences. From a technical and narrative perspective, we worked under the principles of design thinking and participatory action research. We defined key requirements. It had to be accessible on digital platforms, emotive for young audiences, and respectful of the community at the center of the story. The visual style is sober and warm, with close-ups that generate intimacy, smooth transitions, and a slow narrative that allows emotions to breathe. The product was tested with real users from the neighborhood, and the results demonstrated a real emotional connection and a sense of pride in seeing themselves represented. This project not only documents what is disappearing, but also activates processes of recognition, belonging, and symbolic resistance. Telling these stories is an act of memory, but also of the future, and we believe that design has the responsibility to make them visible.